Welcome to Cool Talk and the presidential series. Grover Cleveland is now president again, round two. He returns to the White House with his beautiful bride, Frances Folsom. But barely had he settled in when the whole economy went to hell. Railroads had overexpanded, gold reserves were shrinking, banks had failed, millions were unemployed. This depression would last throughout his whole term. So, how do you put out the fire? Cleveland believed that allowing the silver purchasing caused all of this, so he called for Congress to repeal the Sherman Silver Purchase. Tariffs were reduced. This would bring prices down, but of course it also lowered revenue for the government. To make matters worse for him personally, a small tumor has sprouted on the roof of Cleveland's mouth, and it was cancer. It had to be removed. But, not wanting the press to find out, he boarded a yacht in New York, went out in the ocean, and had the surgery performed out there. Everyone thought he was on vacation. 5 doctors removed the tumor. They had to remove some teeth and the left side of his jaw. Later, a prosthetic was put in. Strikes broke out among the miners, steel workers, and most telling the Pullman Palace Car Company, which halted working the railways and hindered the mail service. Cleveland had to send out the troops to break up the strike. This pleased the rail company but angered the American workers. The gold supply of the country dropped to only $9 million. Cleveland had to do something quick. He struck a deal with billionaire magnate J.P. Morgan. He had to do this or face losing the gold standard. Fat Cat Morgan told him that he knew of one note that was worth $12 million. If that note was presented, then all would be lost. Cleveland thought the deal stunk, but he held his nose and agreed to sell gold bonds to Morgan and his millionaire buddies at a discount. A treaty to annex Hawaii had been presented to the Senate. But Cleveland was angry, stating that the Hawaiian queen, Liliuokalani, had been forced out by American business interest. He withdrew the treaty and would not recognize the new government of Hawaii. He did manage to keep the British from grabbing more land in South America. He also offered to mediate between Spain and Cuban rebels. There were Cuban rebels threatening to break away from Spain. So came 1896 and another election. His wife, Frances, wanted to stay in the White House, but Cleveland had had enough. He took his family away to Princeton, New Jersey to retire. They had by that point 5 children. He joined a law firm, wrote books and magazines, survived cancer again, fished, played with his kids, and became president of Princeton University. Then his health took a turn, and he suffered kidney ailments and rheumatism. He died in 1908. His wife Frances remarried 5 years later. She passed away in 1947. Well, thank you for listening to Cool Talk. Send me your thoughts, comment below, or better yet, subscribe.